The information in this video is provided for informational and educational purposes only.
Welcome to Dose of DN, where you'll get a little shot of what my life is like living with SMA. Today I have a special treat for you. I had the opportunity to work with one of our forum members on creating this video. Her name is Crystal. We wanted to show you guys that, yes, we know that SMA is a broad spectrum, but it's really important to stay active to maintain your level of function. Here's Crystal to introduce herself.
Hello, my name is Crystal. I have SMA type 2 and I am 20 years old. While I am extremely weak, as most people with SMA are, I am still able to use my arms for small, everyday things like riding, and I can hold my head up without needing a headrest for the most part. I use a manual wheelchair instead of a power wheelchair. I am also still able to talk, although it is very hard for people to understand me sometimes, and I run out of breath very fast. Probably the best ability that I still have is the ability to find ways to do things that I otherwise wouldn't be able to.
Crystal and I both have type 2, but we present a little bit differently. Of course, I am 20 years older than she is, but I've always used a power wheelchair. I've never been able to push a manual chair. And although I don't have speech problems, I do have some difficulty swallowing. So every case of SMA presents a little bit differently, and you have to find what works for you. But we both agree that physical activity is important. Here's what Crystal says about exercise.
Exercising used to not be important to me at all. My mom's set up exercise routines for me when I was about 8 or 9 years old, but all I heard about was my crush, my best friend, Hannah Montana, and having fun with my brothers. I cheated a lot on my exercises, and that showed real fast. Eventually, my mom's made me realize just how important exercising is. I still don't like exercising. If my mom's hadn't made exercising part of my daily routine, I don't believe I would be able to do as much as I can.
To be honest, I was never a fan of exercise either, and I got out of it quite a bit, but my mom did her best to keep me active. I played video games, I went fishing, I did arts and crafts. I did a lot of things to keep active, and I do think in the long run that paid off. Looking back, I do wish I would have stuck to a physical exercise routine, but I am glad that I've stayed as active as I have. Now, I'm on Spinraza, and Crystal is not. So there is a difference there as well, but I still think it's important to maintain as much level of function as you can. This is what Crystal has to say about it.
I am super happy that there are finally treatment options available to SMA patients. But let's be real, those treatment options aren't available for everyone with SMA. And those who can't be treated probably feel like it's the end of the world, but it's not. Is it hard? Heck yes. And not just for me, but also for my family. Actually, I think it's harder for my family than it is for me. But yes, it is hard. And a big part of why I'm doing so well is because of exercising. But it was my mom's who made me see how important exercising is. And now, exercising is important to me because I want other people to know how important it is. Even though I don't actually like to exercise. I mean, who does? Who with SMA enjoys exercising? Come on.
One of the reasons I think it's so difficult for someone with SMA to like exercise, and maybe some of you do out there, I don't know, but I think it's difficult because we don't see actual gains or benefits from exercising in the moment. Whereas when a lot of people work out, they gain strength and gain muscle. And it's a lot harder to see that when you have SMA. Even though you don't make gains, it is a way of maintaining your level of function.
I have some exercises that I actually have to do every day because my mom's made it part of my daily routine. And then I have extra exercises that I do with my home health aide. But for both of them, I kind of have a just do it attitude when it comes time to exercise. I am going to explain the exercises that I do. One is arm bite. Arm bite is basically a pole with some pedals on it that you put on my table, and then I use my arms to pedal the arm bite. It works my arms, and I feel it most in my arms, mostly because I'm so slow with it. But when I hand her fast, it works my heart. It gets my heart pumping and my blood flowing. Another is roll time. I roll laps up and down the living room. One of my extra exercises is stretches. I lay down and my home health aide stretches my legs up towards my chest and back down. And then she stretches my knees outwards and back in. And then she also stretches my hips by pushing my knees out. And I'll be honest, I don't like it because I don't like moving my legs a whole lot. But then I also love it because it feels so good. And then after we stretch, we do the same thing, except I push against her to work my legs. Now, for my arms, I have a resistance band that we use. See, when I'm laying down, my home health aide holds it above my head, and I use my arms to pull downwards to work my triceps. We also do a ball toss where I have a little yellow ball that I toss into my laundry basket. I have rockets, which are just sprinkle containers with rocks in them. I also play with Play-Doh to work my hands, although I mostly use that one while I watch TV or something.
Out of those exercises, I'd say the leg stretches were my least favorite. And honestly, I have knee and hip contractures to prove it. So even if you don't like it, try and stick to it. And if something doesn't work for you, try and find a way to keep moving anyway. For example, instead of the pedal bike, I would go fishing. I would cast the fishing pole and reel it in, and that was my version of hand movement. So just do what works for you.
One exercise that I do that is extra, and I do it by myself, are breathing exercises. So every morning for at least 5 minutes, I breathe in using my diaphragm for 10 seconds, and then I breathe out using my diaphragm for 15 seconds. At first, it feels really easy, and I'm like, why is it only 10 seconds and 15 seconds? But then I hit like a minute into it, and I'm like, oh, I see why. This is hard. But since I've been doing that, I've been able to control my breath easier while I talk, and it's also helped with sitting up a little bit.
Respiratory weakness is a major concern with SMA, and that's why those breathing exercises are really important. This is another tool, it's called an inspirometer, that can be used to help maintain lung function. What you do is you exhale as much as you can, and then you inhale as much as you can. Like this. And you try and get your mark every time, but it doesn't always happen. But it is good for strengthening those muscles. And it's also important when you're sick to try and open up your lung passages. Another tool that I use is called the cough assist machine. And that forces air into your lungs, and then it expels it out of your lungs really quick. I have another video on that, so if you want to check it out, go ahead and do so.
The other exercise that I do every day is speech therapy. And speech therapy is kind of hard to explain, so I am going to show you. I start by singing, basically, each vowel 10 times. And when I say sing, I mean I start off low and I gradually get higher, and I hold it out for as long as I can. I start with A. For A, I do A. And I do that 10 times. And then I do the same thing for E, I, O, and U. After I do those 10 times, I then do words 10 times. I do cat, C-A-T, 10 times. Hope, C-O-K-E, 10 times. O, G-O, 10 times. And G-A-G, 10 times. And wow, 10 times. W-O-W. Speech is mostly to help me with my pronunciation issues, but it also helps clear out my throat and my mouth with spit, and it helps add air to my lungs, and helps me get up mucus in my lungs, which is very important. I do different tongue exercises. I move my tongue side to side and up and down and outwards. I do tongue clicks.
I've also done speech therapy for my swallowing issues, and the reason you do words with the letter K or that G sound is because it strengthens those muscles in the back of your tongue and the back of your throat, and as Crystal said, it helps clear that gunk away and it helps you swallow a little bit better. So I've done that as well, and another one that I've done is stick your tongue out and swallow. It's harder than it looks, and it looks pretty awkward, but again, that strengthens those muscles in the back of your throat. So speech therapy is something to consider too, or doing it on your own. Maintaining your head and neck control can be tricky as well. I know I'm like Crystal, if my head gets back too far to a certain point, I can't get it back up. That's why I do have a headrest back there, just for peace of mind. And if I do go over a bump, then I can get my head back up. But I can, if I'm leaning in the right angle, I can put my head back and lift it back up. And I do turn my head side to side, but again, I have limited range. And here's what Crystal does.
For my head exercises, I go side to side as far as I can, which as you can see is not far, but it's still good to work those muscles. And then I also go side to side like that as well, which is also hard, but the hardest one is going forward and back as far as I can without dropping my head, because if I drop my head, I will not get back up. I can't. Those are the exercises I do.
I want to thank Crystal for showing us a little piece of her life and what she does to stay active. I encourage you guys, whatever your function level is, to maybe try some of that out or try out whatever works for you. Just stay active. Have a good day, everyone. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.